All right. So my name is Kai. I'm the community manager for Safe Space, and tonight I have with me our therapist Joan Chia. So just to share with you a little bit about Safe Space. So just a brief introduction of what Safe Space is really about. So Safe Space is a B2C, B2B digital mental health platform. So we provide access to therapy sessions. However, we understand that not everyone needs access to therapy sessions right away. So what we also provide is prevention. So that's why we have such webinar programs like tonight to provide education, as well as also, a good insight of what the topics in the mental health community is all about. So, all right, without further ado, I will pass over the stage to Joan Chia, our therapist, to kick off tonight's webinar.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking up your precious time. I think a lot of you should be actually having your dinner, but yet you've chosen to join us for this webinar. I'm really grateful for that. And I really hope that through this sharing, okay, for myself, you'll be able to at least be able to gain something out of it. So without further ado, I'll just do a short intro to who I am, so that and I would love to get to know you later as well. So feel free to make this a interactive session with the Slido that's going to be up, where you can post your questions to various parts in the presentation. And later on in the Q&A session, you can also feel free to ask questions as well, and make it interactive, okay? Because really it's all about meeting your needs at this juncture. So for myself, I'm Joan. Yeah, you can just call me Joan. I've close to a decade of experience in professional counseling. So my main therapy style is choice theory and reality therapy. So that's why I've decided to share what choice theory is all about. Because I'm having been very well trained with the William Glasser Institute, I thought that what has been shared from the teachings of William Glasser has been very useful for me. So I've decided to kind of do this education for everyone. And I've also have other therapies that I do, but I'm also a registered counselor at SAC at this juncture. Currently, I'm a freelancer. Okay, I work with SMU, with Safe Space, and I have my own private practice, really because I have young children. So I really would love a more flexible arrangement. And I also do training as well, and in various places, because I was also formerly a teacher as well. So I would hope to marry my two skills that I've been able to gather. Okay, so without further ado, let's just really start. Okay, so if you could, are you able to perhaps put up your maybe your handphones or so to scan the QR code here, and I'll be asking you the first question, okay? Just to get us going. It's almost like a little icebreaker. Okay, and so this poll that I have now, so do join me in this poll. So just a very quick, opening question to all of you. What is your favorite item? So if you could you join us at Slido and just type in the various answers that you have? Okay, the phone. My cat marbles, okay. Wow, that's great. I see that. Okay, thank you. Any more answers that I have from anyone else? You type up. Oh, that's very interesting. Yes. Okay. Okay, I see my computer, my mobile phone. I'm really not sure if this is exacerbated by the pandemic, where we're all like quite stuck at home. Okay. Right. Okay, thank you. Any more answers before I move on? Okay, so these are all your favorite items. Okay, so just to get the ball rolling. So what are we really trying to get at here? So, okay, so basically, so long as it's your favorite item means that it is something that is part of what we call, to really introduce you to this concept, is really what we call the quality world. all right? That means to say that, you know, be it your phone, I'll just go back to what we, be it your, you know, your phone, your computer, your scented candles, you know, your journals and all that. These all are items that form part of what we call your quality world. All right. So what is your quality world about, and why is it important to know more about your quality world? Okay. Really, sometimes we really don't know what we want, but it's important to know our quality world, and I'll be sharing you why that is so. All right. So there's this concept of quality world in choice theory, which is anything that you like to do, anything that, you know, puts a smile on your face. It can be your favorite item, it can be your favorite place, it can be your favorite person. These are all anything that will form what we call the concept of the quality world. And what underlies what the quality world is, and this concept of needs will come into play. So the founder of this theory, William Glasser, actually postulates, right, that we all have 5 basic needs, all right, that will form the basis of our quality world. All right, and I'll go a little more into that just in a while as to what these 5 basic needs are. All right. Okay, so even right now, okay, you have your own quality world. So right now, even as we come as a group today, let's have a group agreement. And when we have a group agreement, it actually forms our quality world for today's webinar. So right now, continue to join us at Slido with this QR code and type it in, because this is my next question for you. What is a group agreement that we'd like to have today? Meaning, what are some like rules that we would like to have collectively as a group today, in terms of what kind of session do we want today? Okay, let me give you an example. For example, we would like everyone to share openly. Okay, we would like to be in a non-judgmental environment, something like that. So just feel free to type in, you know, whatever you hope for this session to be. Yeah. So any thoughts? Okay, great. Non-judgmental space, mutual respect. That's good. Yeah, just type in anything that comes to your head about what kind of a session would you like today. Okay, gain more knowledge, engaging, yes. Okay, great. Any other thoughts? Yes, a greater sense of self-awareness. To be more understanding, friendly. Is a friendly environment? Great. Okay. Okay, great. So I'm hearing from all of you that's what you want. And so that's what I would try to cater for, because that's our quality world, okay, for today's session. Okay, so without further ado, I'll just, let me just scroll down to let everyone see. Okay, so I have non-judgmental space, engaging session, and thank you. Okay, great. I see a lot of positivity. Let's move on, and this is really what your quality world is. Okay. Okay, so really for today, I want to bring across, okay, what choice theory is all about for you, and what the learning outcomes. So really, I hope to be able to introduce this whole concept of being able to understand yourself through this concept of 5 basic needs and quality world pictures. And then the second part, second learning outcome is about how to therefore manage your own reactions. Okay, and I'm going to speak to you about another choice theory concept, 4 components of total behavior. And this is whole concept of self-evaluation, so that you would be able to first understand yourself, and then you'll be able to know how we can apply that knowledge, you know, to better manage yourself. Okay, because you have that knowledge. Now, choice theory was actually started by William Glasser. He's a psychiatrist. Okay, he has left us already. Okay, but it's not a new theory at all. So he came up with choice theory and reality therapy, and he was into psychiatry and counseling. Okay, he has authored about more than 20 books on CTRT or LM. LM stands for lead management. So he also wrote many books based on choice theory concepts about how we can be better leaders in organizations, borrowing from the concepts of choice theory. and he founded the William Glasser Institute. And so that is where I was trained in, not in the US, but we had external, we do have external practitioners here. And so I took up a course with them and went really all the way to be a practicum supervisor, and from the William Glasser Institute. Yeah, so that's where I decided that, hey, you know, whatever I've learned has been very fruitful, not only for me as a counselor, but the concepts can really be very applicable to any layman as well. So I decided that, you know, this is what I wish to do, you know, yeah. Okay, so there are many axioms, okay, in choice theory, and there's so many concepts, but in a 1 hour, I'm just really gonna be like, you know, picking out just 2 of the main concepts. There's still a lot more, so just let me know later, you know, if you'd be interested, you know, to know a lot more, because choice theory and related therapy is really very rich, okay, and so this is just really a teaser into what choice theory is. Okay, so really to understand ourselves, we need to understand the relationship between what I mentioned to you just now about your quality world and your basic needs. So one of there are 10 axioms of choice theory, but in axiom number 6, okay, it said that we can only satisfy our needs by satisfying the pictures in our quality world. All right, yeah, so what our quality world means is just like what I mentioned, you know, can be things like our group agreement just now, our favorite items, our favorite person. And underlying our quality world is actually knowing that we have needs, okay? So Glasser postulates that we have actually 5 basic needs, and one of which is love and belonging, power. And when we talk about power needs, we're talking about like things like achievement, you know, having a greater sense of self, you know, being proud of yourself. So that's about power. And we have various other needs as well. Okay, we have freedom needs, we have fun needs, and we have survival needs. So Glasser feels that all human beings have these 5 basic needs, all right, that we need to fulfill, that we actually want, you know, all the time. Okay, so basically just to say the 5 basic needs are the core, and the application of these 5 basic needs is found in our quality world pictures in a sense. So very quickly, I thought let's just do a very quick assessment of ourselves. So what's going to happen is I will need Carol's help, okay, to put it on the chat. Okay, he was going to share with you a document on the chat group. Okay, and at this juncture, Carol, are you okay with that?
All right, I see the chat group.
Okay, great. So I need everyone to open up that Word document. Hopefully you're, you know, at a laptop, but if you're not, it's okay, even with the phone, to have a look at that. All right, and this is what we call a need strength analysis. So I won't call it a personality test, but I will call it like a test to see which of these 5 basic needs mean most to you. All right, so what is going to happen is I will need you to open it up. I'd like you to look at each row of words horizontally and do rank them according to which group of words pertain the most to you, like it speaks to you the most. All right, can we do that now? And then what happens is the ranking should be 5 for the most relevant to you and 1 being the least in each row. So do write the number down on the right and do add up the scores for each column and write the scores at the bottom. Okay. And later on, I will give you the titles of each column. Okay, but right now, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, okay, to do just that. Okay, so can we do that now? Are there any questions at this point as to what you need to do? Any questions from anyone? Is everyone clear? Okay. Is there anyone who would like to?
Hi, Joan. Sorry, we are unable to see the document. Will you be able to share it with us? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so you're not able to have the document. Okay. All right.
I can see the document, but my question is, I'm So Hyang here.
Yes.
Can I 5 for, or must I only use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Can I repeat the number?
Yeah, you
Can I
cannot
have
repeat the
4?
number. No, you can't. You can't repeat the number. So it's about a ranking of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's right. That means the
Okay,
number
thank
in
you.
each row cannot be repeated. Yeah, you have to decide which group of words mean most to you. Yeah. Okay, but I still hear from some who can't open up the document. Is it still happening? Are there some of you who still can't open the document?
Joan Kai here. So maybe is it okay if you share screen for the document?
Okay, sure. All right.
Are able to see some or not?
Let me just get out of my screen first. And okay, let me just. Okay, let me just stop sharing for a while. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to share screen, and so sorry, you may have to kind of do it manually if that's the case. Let me just share screen now. So the document that you should be seeing is this. Are you able to see the document now?
Yes, can.
Okay. Does everyone have problems here? Yeah, but in this case, oh sorry, you all may have to do it kind of a bit more manually, if that's the case. So remember, in each row, you should be ranking. In each row, the numbers cannot be duplicated. You have to decide which row, which group of words mean most to you. If there are any more problems that anyone's having. Yeah, thanks, Casey. Yeah, the file is already sent through the chat. Let me just see whether I can do that, okay? It's just that if I close this document now, I can't. Okay, yeah, thank you, Carol. So Carol has just put up the document again. I hope to know whether you're able to download the document because, thanks. So Casey sounds good, yeah. Okay, I'll just give you a couple more minutes. Do not take too long to do this. Just anything that comes to you instant, like spontaneously. Yeah, because there's really no right and wrong to this. Okay, after you have decided, could you total up the scores under the total? So each column should have a total score as well. Okay. Okay, let me just do a quick check. I hope you all don't mind if I call some of you to just do a quick check. Can you all give an indication with a reaction, if you could? Whether you're done? Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Jensen, thank you for that as well. Okay. Yeah, could you give a thumbs up in terms of your reactions if you're done, so that I can have an idea whether I should proceed? Okay, can I have Bumblebee is done. Okay, any more? Okay. Okay. No problem, Melissa. Same score for 2 categories. It's okay. Okay, how is everyone doing? Any more thumbs up? Great, I see more thumbs up already. Let's see. Okay, great. Okay, good. Now, if you're done, you would see some, some blanks on top. All right. So I'm going to do this now. Okay, and do follow me as I type it in as well. Okay, so what should the label on top of this column? It should be talking about your love and belonging needs. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen. And the second group of words is actually talking about your power needs. And the next column is freedom. So it's good for you to type it in as well. So you have fun and you will have survival. Okay, so that's what we have here. Are you all able to see? So the first column on the left will be love and belonging needs, then followed by power on the left, a second to the left. Then we have freedom in the middle, fun, followed by survival needs as well. Now, how do you interpret the scores here? So basically, you will have a total score. So these scores will show you the relative importance of these needs to you. Meaning, for example, the higher the score, the greater that need is for you. That means if you have a high score for power versus love and belonging, it means that your power needs are a lot stronger than your love and belonging, for example. So just now, one of you said that I had the same score for two needs. That's totally fine. I mean, there's no right and wrong to all this. It just means that these two needs are equally important to you. Yeah. All right. So how is that for everyone? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for this, if everyone's okay. Okay, so perhaps at this juncture, I would just like to ask, so is there anybody who wish to share, if you don't mind, share a little. It's okay if you want to switch on the video or not, but my question to you is, how accurate do you think this need strength assessment says about you, and about whether you agree with which need is more important to you? Is anyone surprised by the results, or is anyone like, oh yeah, I think I've known it all along? Anybody like to share? Is there anybody who'd like to give it a shot? Expected. Okay. Naomi says it's expected. Quite accurate. Great. Okay. Melissa says it's quite accurate. Good. Anybody else? Okay. For some, this exercise is often done, and some people would say, oh yeah, it is me. Some people say, no, it's not. And surprised. Yeah, I see Lynn being surprised. So, okay. So this is a various, some yes, some no. Okay. So by and large, let me just go back to our slides. Okay. By and large, right? Okay, why is it important to know our needs? Okay, because everything we do, okay, according to Glasser, is in fulfillment of our needs. All right, and if we are not, meeting some of our important needs, that's when we actually get rather, we have that's when we can get a bit down and unhappy with our lives, because we're not meeting our needs. Okay, and we're not too clear about our quality world pictures. So the first learning point really that I want to put across to all of you today, before I go on to the next concept, is that am I meeting my needs today? Let's say that there's some, let's say your love and belonging is really high, all right, but somehow you're always but you're not maybe seeing your family so much, so then that might cause some what we call not as good a need satisfying life, right? So knowing your needs is important. Okay, that's how you can understand yourself a little better and what's happening to you. And knowing what you want is actually what we mean by being clear about your quality world pictures. All right. Now, sometimes a lot of people don't really know what they want, and perhaps this is about time we start maybe going a little more inside within us to know what we want, which is therefore in relation to our needs as well. So there is really one very classic, question for choice theory, where we really advocate what we call this practice of self-evaluation. Always looking at, about what we're choosing to do today. That's why the word choice theory. Today, going to get me closer or further from what I want. So this question is so simple, but it's really something that can be used like everyday life actually. Like maybe even for today, or maybe just just reflecting what happened today. We all make decisions, we all make choices, and when you make that choice, did it really help you or not from actually what is in your quality world? And then we can always ask ourselves, so maybe there's something I need to do better in, so that I can meet my needs better for the next day, for example. All right, so this is really the first part of a first huge concept to relate to you all in a very short period of time today. Okay, let's move on. So the other concept I wish to share in this very short 1 hour is this concept of total behavior. Now, this is a very unique finding of Glasser, where he describes what he means by total behavior. Now, we all know this whole thing about behavior. So one of the two axioms of choice theory is really this: all we do is behave. All we do is behave, we make choices. And he postulates that when we talk about our behavior, it's actually made up of 4 components. Okay, and the 4 components are actually 4 parts to it. Okay, the first is acting. Acting would really mean what you are seen to be doing, for that behavior that you have chosen in reaction to anything that happens to your life. There are also thoughts that are going through your head in terms of the behavior. There's also feelings that you will feel when you choose any kind of behavior. And there's also physiology. Now, physiology in this case, we talk about what is happening in your body, okay, when you make a decision. So there are actually 4 parts to this whole thing. And that's what I'm going to try to portray to you today by doing what we call a little case study, okay? Because it sounds very theoretical now, but we're gonna let you try and do something so that it's easier for you to get the concept, okay? All right, okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, so William Glasser uses the analogy of a car, all right, where the front wheels are acting and thinking, and the back wheels are what we call the feeling and the physiology. So what is that really all about? Let's move on, okay? So let's do a very quick group activity, to get all of you getting to know each other as well. I know a lot of you may be strange to each other, but I think it'll be a good time to get to know new friends as well, and to be able to learn something so that it's not a one-way kind of learning process. I think it's good that you do it as well to truly understand this concept of total behavior. So I'm going to read a scenario to you later, and I would like you to think about how you would react, okay, individually first. And then later, get together with your group and prepare a role play. Now, of course, being a webinar is not really a role play per se. I mean, honestly, I've done this workshop in a face-to-face setting. It was a lot more fun, but that's okay. I mean, in a webinar, it's also fine, where you will now present the 4 wheels of total behavior in reaction to the scenario, okay? So do choose a representative among yourselves and scribe your reactions later. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes, all right, on 10 minutes with your group, all right? And I'd like you to later scribe your reactions on the Slido poll after you come back. So do choose a representative. Maybe someone can type it in, on their computer, and then later do cut and paste later to our Slido poll after you come back. All right, and so this is really what we do in that 10 minutes. I'm going to read out a scenario to you, and I would like you to think about how you would react. Okay, and later you share with your group, and then you all will come up with a group reaction. Okay, in terms of the 4 wheels of total behavior in reaction to the scenario. Right? Okay, so what's this scenario all about? Okay, so you're at a department store 2 days after purchasing a massage equipment for your mom. She complained it was not working well, it tends to heat up. Now, you had a salesperson who promised you that if there's anything defective, you could exchange it for something of equal or higher value. But when you arrived, the same salesperson tested and claimed that it's not hot at all, so she refused to allow for the exchange. Okay, so this is a very normal scenario, all right, that you have. So, so for this scenario, okay, perhaps you all can take a picture of it, you know, or later I can show it to you again, but maybe you can take a snapshot of it and try to digest this scenario. And I'd like you later to discuss in your groups how you all would react to such a scenario, and break it up into the 4 aspects of total behavior. That means, what would you be doing? What would your thoughts be? What would your feelings be? And what would your physiology, what would be happening in your body as well, for that matter? Okay. So Carol has nicely given us the case study scenario as a PNG file. Okay. So you can use it later, but do digest the scenario. Okay. Okay. Any questions about how we do this activity? Later on, as we go into our breakout rooms, Carol and I will also join you to see whether everything is okay. Yeah, so not to worry. But are there any questions now? Okay. Okay, so if there are no further questions, now the time is 7:35. Okay, we'll come back at 7:45. Would that be okay, everyone? So Carol, are we okay with the breakout rooms?
All right, so I'll assign everyone to the breakout rooms right now.
Okay. Hi, Kuro. Kuro, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So, but Anne and Cindy did not join their groups, huh?
Yeah.
Cindy and Anne, are you all here? Okay, that's all right. Okay. Yeah. I actually went to every group already.
Okay.
Yeah, to just check that they understand the instructions. Yeah.
I will just broadcast a message and then we'll close soon.
Yes, correct. Let me just share screen for the.
I closed the room already, so they should be joining back soon.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's fine. Do let me know when if everyone seems to be back.
Okay, can. Closing
Yeah.
in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, 30 seconds. Okay, thanks. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Okay, is everyone back? Okay, yeah, I do see quite a number of you back already. Okay, great. Okay, so what will you do, okay, in such a scenario, right? So we're going to see from the reactions of everyone. So could we now have your scribes, okay, join us at this Slido again, okay, and type in the various aspects of total behavior. Okay, now, but before you do that, please remember to write your group number before you type your answer. So, correct, do they know their group numbers, depending on which room you were in just now? You can say room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4, or group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Do you all know your groups? Everyone okay? Sorry?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let's see our...
Casey, we are in group 1.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so whoever subscribed, do insert your room, like which group you're from before you write your answer. Yeah. Okay, so I should be expecting to see various answers being typed out now in the poll. So only one representative needs to do that. Demand for refunds is group 3. Okay, check. Wow, okay. Interesting. Very good. Well, room 1 is very expressive. Raised voice, yeah. Okay, how about group 4? Before I move on to show everyone's answers. So group 1, room 1 and 3 seem quite similar in terms of your behavior or what you'll be doing. One person, I can't see your manager, touch the machine to see if it's actually hot or not. Very interesting answer for group 4. Okay, that's good. Can we move? Let's move on. So thinking, okay, room 1 says, cheat my money. Oh my God, I'm going to post on social media. Yes, okay, that's your thoughts. Okay. If it really doesn't heat up, nothing more can do, bring it users as for sure. Group 2 is a very interesting reaction as well. Okay, this is from, did mom really test it properly? Is that from group 3 or 4, thereabouts? That's good. Okay, did mom really test it properly? Was the item really felt hot? Okay. Is there a group 4 for the thinking? Okay. Let's see what there is. Okay. Okay. One person. Okay, so you all had different reactions in group 4. One is that maybe mom was mistaken. One is that she was trying to cheat my money. Okay, great. Okay, good. Let's move on. So do take note of what you all had reacted in terms of your acting and your thinking, and think about how it later corresponds to your feeling. Okay. So group 1 and 2, who were, if you all remember, had rather angry thoughts. Also, they felt anger naturally. So group 4 have a different reaction, which is a very interesting thing. Okay, later we'll talk to you about that. Room 1 was quite unanimous in terms of being frustrated and angry. Group 2 was feeling frustrated and maybe even embarrassed because maybe mom was wrong, right? In a sense. And felt cheated because she did not honor her words. Okay, she felt that. Okay, great. Any other answers? Okay. Okay, let's go on to your physiology. Yes, okay, so group 1 says very flushed face, heart was racing. Group 2 as well, was not a good emotion. The body is also a bit tense as you're feeling frustrated. Okay, okay, let's see. Group 4 says no different. Yeah, because I know group 4 has 2 different reactions. One was quite angry and all that. The other person was no different than normal. She was actually quite calm, if you remember some reactions. Okay, great. Okay, so very interesting reactions. And I just want to say something now. If you can see, right, the majority of you, okay, actually felt anger. Okay, sorry. Okay, majority, some were very, forward about the action. Okay. Group 4 had 2 different reactions. Okay, group 2 had like check if mom was right. It was quite a rational kind of response. Group 3 was quite clear about what they're going to do. Okay, but correspondingly, okay, their thoughts were also the same. Like room 1 is pretty clear about that. If it really doesn't heat up. So group 2 looked like it was a bit more calm, and group 4 had 2 different types of reaction. Maybe mom was mistaken, but the other one said, no, try and cheat my money. Okay, so this was 2 different reactions. But with the 2 different reactions of acting and thinking, the feelings also corresponded. Okay, but you had one person in group 4 feeling calm. And because the person was feeling calm, they didn't really feel anything, no different than normal. Okay, so what we're trying to get at in this whole activity, I just want to illustrate a point in this very short hour that we have. So like for that one person in group 4, keep calm, because there is an alternative, as you all can see from one person in group 4, right? So some questions to consider. Okay, would you say that the behavior that you all had, thought of of choosing, would show that a person is in effective control, and why yes or why no. And if you had chosen that way of reacting, which needs are met or not met, and did the person really get what he or she wants? And for those of you who no, and for sorry, so sorry about the noise behind. And for those of you who who actually reacted a bit more strongly, what can we do to be in more effective control? Right? Like if we look back, is there something that we could have done differently? Okay, is there actually an alternative to such a scenario to start with? And we can measure it by, okay, were our needs even met or not? And so if that's the case, if we could turn back the clock, what else can we do differently? So, however, when it comes to total behavior and this concept, now looking at the 4 wheels of total behavior that you mentioned, that we saw just now, okay, let's go back very quickly. Okay, so I'll just go back to that car. Can any one of you hazard a guess now, very quickly? You can put your answers in the chat. Now, given that you're acting and thinking are front 2 wheels and your feeling and physiology are back 2 wheels. Now, if I were to ask you, which 2 wheels of this behavior do you feel that you have more direct control over? Can you let me know? Which are the wheels of this total behavior that you think you have more control over? Okay, great. Acting and thinking from Casey. Someone says front wheels. Front 2, yes, exactly. Okay, so I think it's very clear that because sometimes people always say, I don't know how to deal with my emotions. How do I control my anger? How do I control my reaction? How do I control my being? How do I control my emotions? The truth of the matter is that you cannot control your emotions, but because you know that your emotions are linked, in this concept of total behavior from Glasser, then what you could do is think about what you could change in terms of what you choose to do and what you choose to, and what kind of thoughts you choose to have. A little like what the person from group 4 chose to do in an alternative way, where actually if you think about it, in her calm, because she was able to think differently, that maybe mom was different and maybe she needs to get things checked out and did not demand for that, her feeling naturally was also a lot more calm. Her physiology was also like, it didn't really affect her very much as well, him or her very much. Okay, so so really what we're trying to say is this: we have no control over our feelings, but just like a car where it's driven by the front 2 wheels, no, like most cars are 2-wheel drive. Okay, so if we try to take more control over our actions and our thoughts, right, then our feelings and physiology will also follow through a lot better in that sense. So because of that, Glasser postulates that we may want to, because of this knowledge, therefore therefore try to take, hold on, let's go back to this. Okay. Try to take more control, okay, over what we choose to do, even in an adverse circumstance, okay, and make more effective choices, because at the end of the day, does it actually better meet our needs if we keep calm, for example, if we try to adjust our thoughts, if we try to adjust our actions, would that actually meet our needs better? So this is really something for everyone to reflect about in anything that you do, right? So really, this is the 2 key concepts that I thought of sharing with you all today. So because we know that only our wheels of acting and thinking are within our direct control, and because we have absolutely no control over our feelings and physiology, let's control what we can, and give it a shot, right? So that's the concept of total behavior, and then it would possibly give us a better outcome in terms of meeting our needs better, being in more effective control, And, you know, at the end of the day, for any part of our lives, you know, even as we live our lives, you know, let's say even the next moment after this webinar, everything that you choose to do, is it going to get you closer or further from what you want? Yeah, in that sense. So that's really forms the basis of, you know, Glasser, you know, teaching all of us that we do have control. We do have choices that we can make, even in adverse circumstances. So in conclusion, what we've learned so far is, number one, I thought that, you know, giving your need strength analysis can help you understand yourself a little better, you know, in terms of your 5 basic needs and your quality world picture. So it's important to know yourself well. All right. For example, this is actually a seminar for another day, because it's quite a lot of it's quite rich. Okay, but in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that for the 5 basic needs, right? Let's say if your need for love and belonging is pretty high, but your love for but your power need is a bit lower. So maybe let me give you an example. For example, okay, let's say for myself in my own life, my love and belonging need is very high, but my power need is lower. So when there was a point of time when I had 3 children, so sorry, as you all can hear, then I had to make a decision. Because I realized that if I continue my full-time job, I wouldn't be spending a lot of time with them. So I had to make a call, you know. So because my love and belonging need is a lot higher than my power needs, I decided to make a call to fulfill my power need. My love and belonging need more, and give up my power needs in the sense of not going for a career anymore. You know, I decided to come out, be my freelancer, and, you know, kind of give up this whole thing about rising up any corporate ladder or so. Yeah. So that is what I chose to do, because I know that the needs of love and belonging are a lot more important to me. So when I have to choose something like this, where I need to give up one need over another, I decided that, okay, this is what I want. And I did this quite a number of years back, and I've never looked back since. Okay, so that's what, it's kind of a sharing. So understanding yourself is really important, so that when push comes to shove and you have to make a decision, you would be able to know how to make it based on your needs. Now, so besides understanding yourself, then it's about actually acting on it, and what can we do? So whatever we do, we're doing it to fulfill our needs. So no. So the key thing is, have I met my needs today? Have I met my love and belonging needs today? Have I met my power needs today? You know, it's always asking yourself this question. And in this concept of total behavior, knowing that even in adverse circumstances, I can choose not to, I can choose an alternative way of acting and thinking. All right. So I will need to and that's how I can manage myself better, and invariably feel better later as well. And I think the concept we want is really self-evaluation. So it's really about always having, you know, this habit of self-evaluation, taking a step back and knowing, okay, is this really what I should do? You know, is what I'm doing today really going to get me closer or further away from what I want? Yeah. So this is really, in a nutshell, what I have for all of you today. Okay. So perhaps I'll pass the time back to Quirrell. Can I say that?
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Joan. Thank you, everyone on the call today. So maybe we
Yeah.
can go to the next slide. We'll just
Yeah.
want to get a sense of how you guys feel about tonight's session. Maybe you can help us with this one.
Yeah. There will be a chance for Q&A later as well. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So maybe we go on to the next slide.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's see the next slide if we have any questions.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, actually, really, this is the time for, a time to really ask your questions, ask away, in terms of anything you have. And I will try my best to answer as much as I can. Thankfully, we're keeping good time, I hope. Yeah. Would there be any questions from anyone? Okay. Yes. Okay, I'll address that question to come. If you are a worrier, okay, how do you then change that thinking? Yes, exactly. We have patterns of behavior that we've always had, all right, from a long time now, okay? So, however, your question is true. Can you change that thinking? Yes, you can, because remember that in terms of what we learned about total behavior, you do have control over your actions and your thoughts. You can't have much over your feelings, because you can even try, like, okay, let's say if I ask you to, can you stop feeling angry now? Stop feeling angry now. There's no way you can stop the anger. So in order to help, right, it's thinking about, okay, so what are some thoughts? What are some alternative thoughts that I can have? But what will drive you towards being less of a worrier? Okay, I think it's really the motivation, and that that seminal question just now that I posed. If you continue choosing, to hold on to those thoughts, for example, that keep you worried, for example, does that get you closer or further away from where you want to be? So it's really about making a decision, all right? Seeing that every day is a new day. So I think what Glasser was trying to do with choice theory and reality therapy, that's what he said, coming down to reality, is that we can, every day is a new day. Even though I've been a worrier for the longest time in my life, there'll be a new dawn tomorrow. I can choose, and hopefully what drives is that it will lead me to having more effective control over my life. So it's about, having that thought, like how long more, for example, do I want to hold on to, being a worrier when it's really not getting me where I want to be, for example. Okay, yeah, I hope that answers the second question. Okay, split personality disorder. Okay, now I personally think you can still use this knowledge, okay? But having said that, it might not be easy, all right, to have for someone with a personality disorder, if he's diagnosed, he or she is diagnosed, I think it's really good to get some form of treatment first. Now, by and large, maybe just to share, I'm a counselor, but I'm not a psychologist, nor am I a psychiatrist. Okay, so that's to, tell you all the difference. So let's say, even as a counselor, everyone comes to me, and then we have a duty or responsibility to know that if we suspect that someone is really having a possible medical mental health condition, it is good for us to refer them to a psychiatrist or psychologist to get that assessed first, to see the severity of it. Because for some with rather serious disorders, right, sometimes medication does help. Then only then can talk therapy or counseling work better. Yeah, so in that sense. But personally, I feel that for your friend, if you have a friend who's like that, I think it's still okay to share these choice theory concepts, but I can't be sure whether it will work as well in that sense. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see. Alongside the borderline, yeah, same. So if you have that, PDs, because PDs are not easy. It's a very tough mental condition. It's one of the toughest. But PDs are one of the toughest because, personally, I think it's really because the person, a lot of people with PD do not admit that that there's something wrong with them. So due to that, they don't really seek help to start with. But I strongly encourage that if you do have friends who have that, it's good to encourage them to see a professional to get that, sorted out. And actually, really, people who go for counseling or who actually seek help, I always tell them half the battle is won, because you do recognize there's something not right, and you want to do something about it. Yeah, and really, clients that come to me, I really feel that half the battle is won, in a sense. Yeah. Okay. Is it possible for Quality World to have less nice things? Does it make sense for me to have a Quality World image of getting back at who hurt me? Okay. That's a good question. I suppose so. Okay. But well, I think because there's no right and wrong to a quality world. Okay, there's no judgment call. There is actually no morality. There's no really a moral compass when it comes to quality world in this case. But I think you really just have to evaluate though and be very honest with yourself whether that truly makes you happy, whether that truly meets your needs as well. And if you can evaluate that and it's fine, then yeah, it's possible. But I think, I don't know, but the fact that someone will ask this question, then there might be some doubt about whether this really meets their needs in the first place. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions that I missed out? Is the survey you gave us a standard survey? Okay, this survey wasn't really by the Glasser Institute per se. It was adapted from a practitioner. Okay, so it might not really have been on the Glasser Institute. Okay, so if you feel that, yeah, the phrasing might affect their responses, yeah, maybe, yeah, but it was not a standard survey. Yeah, it was derived from a practitioner. Yeah. Okay, understand you can change how you act, but can you change how you think? In choice theory, we feel so, in a sense that there are what we call, I don't know whether you've heard of this other theory, which is more commonly known in Singapore, called CBT. I don't know whether you've heard of that a lot. So cognitive behavioral therapy is a lot on the cognition. Okay, so given that there are quite a lot of therapies that have this idea of being able to to adjust your thoughts, I hope that merits some, some credence that we can adjust our thoughts. I wouldn't say change how you think, but it's something that you can try to think more about and rationalize if you adjust the thinking in terms of, especially in choice theory terms, if you feel that if you adjust your thinking, it will get you closer to where you want to be, then that maybe is really something that you want to do in that sense. Yeah. So in choice theory terms, yes. In things like cognitive behavioral therapy as well, some of us feel that we can help our clients to have a bit more like positive self-talk as well. Yeah. I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't answer the question, feel free to continue to. Okay. Okay, mild intellectual disability. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I know what you mean. Personally, I feel it's still okay because some of the concepts, it's not too difficult, but I think it's about how we explain it to them, in very simple terms. Like, we can say, oh, like someone with mild intellectual disability, oh, if you do this, will you be happy? Or maybe you want to try doing something else, that kind of thing. So to make it simpler, because it's really sometimes just as simple as that. Yeah. So the thing about CTRT that I've always felt is that it's actually not a difficult theory, but it's sometimes so difficult to do and apply. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Yeah, so I actually feel that it's possible. Yeah. Okay, any other questions that I may have missed out? Okay. All right. Okay, I think I've addressed most of the questions. Yeah, okay, great. Any further questions? from anyone. Anyone like to say something, or yeah, so sorry, honestly, sometimes I always feel, oh, if only I have a longer time, I can really hear from more of you, can interact with more of you, get to know more of you as well. Because really, I actually have a dream, which is really to kind of spread more choice theory concept, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. And I've always had this dream of going further, to actually, go into further concepts and how we can have a more interactive session. So who knows, it could be a chance for a bigger workshop, that can last a few more hours. Then we can actually really see how we can actually apply it into our lives. But in 1 hour, this is like a little teaser for you. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Thank you everyone for your kind words. Carol, is there anything? Okay, let me move on to the next slide to end off.
All right. So thank you everyone, and thank you, Joan.
Thanks, Carol.
I've also shared a short survey that you guys can do if you want to continue your session even if you don't want to continue your session. If you find the sharing today very insightful, we would really love if you could share a little bit of your feedback for us to improve our program in the future. On the screen, you can also see a QR code for our website if you like to book your time with Joan as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. It was a good time sharing, and yeah, just because of time, otherwise it would have been nice for us to interact, in a small groups. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah, thank you for all your kind words, everyone. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. So
Okay,
we'll
thank
wrap
you.
up today's session. Thank you so much, Joan.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Yeah. Bye. Carol, we're able to get the responses.
Hi.
Hi, yes.
Yeah, so sorry. Can I clarify that
Sure.
the recording, right, is it uploaded on the safespace.sg/resources?
Yeah, so we have recorded today's session, and we will